I'm going to talk about that smelly green stuff that everybody likes to have. Who knows what I'm talking about? Money. So I'm going to talk a little bit about money. So yeah, who's ever heard of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I have.
All right, cool. So basically, the book Rich Dad Poor Dad is written by this guy named Robert Kiyosaki. He's like he was born like a middle class into an Asian family. He's like a Chinese guy, and basically what the whole book is about, it's about him and how he learned to make money and who taught him how to make money. So he learned from he says he has two dads. He had a rich dad and a poor dad. So his biological father was like a school teacher, and this was back in like the 60s and 70s. So school teacher really wasn't a bad profession, and so his dad was always the type of person that said, "Oh, go to school, get good grades, get a good education, graduate, and get a good job." You know, and I try to find a good job with benefits that pays you good when you retire. And then his rich dad, which was actually his best friend's dad, taught him how to manage a business, make yourself wealthy, invest in yourself and your own education, so that you can not only change your life but change the lives of the lives of other people. So that's basically what the whole premise of the book is. And I've always been studying. I've always been interested in finances, especially because the family that I come from, we don't really come from, money was never abundant. So this really struck right in my alley because I want to learn how to make money too, so I can support myself and whoever else comes along with me. So I wrote down a couple of points from the book that I've read so far that really stood out to me. So the first one is he really highlights the ways that making money has changed over time. And he talks about, when he was younger, in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, that was the norm. When you go to school, when you were in the 70s, going to school and getting your degree in college and doing good in high school, academics was the way to go. You were set. You had a good future if you had a good education, like school-wise. But now that's not the case anymore, especially with all the student debt loan and the job opportunities that have declined so much. Even doctors nowadays, when you graduate with a medical degree, doctors even have problems with finances and are finding themselves in more challenging financial positions. So that was one of the main points he highlighted was ways of making money have changed. So people have to. That's why entrepreneurship is such a vital career that people must have, because they figure out new ways to make money, and that's some of the things that he's talking about, how he became an entrepreneur himself. And then this is a good one. Okay, so people often spend more money than they make, and an increase in salary causes an increase in spending. And that's key. I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to that. So who's ever gone to, let's say Walmart, and they saw a buy one get one free sign of something that they weren't even going in to purchase, and they went and bought it? If you're not raising your hand, you're a liar. You haven't done it? You're a liar. So yeah, it's a common thing. It happens every now and then. But if you think about it on the larger scale, people often spend money on things that they really like. Not that they don't need, but they supersede their income. So they're spending more money that they make, and that's what's really causing a lot of the debt. People are living off of debt rather than living off of their income. You're spending money that you haven't even made, and that's one of the things that he was talking about in the book. How his poor dad was like that, always in debt, always having to pay people back, always having an increase in liabilities and not an increase in assets. He was always owing people money. He had nice cars, a nice house, nice things, but he was always in debt. So that's one of the main key points is you're not really supposed to spend money that you don't have, and that's something that's really touching to me. He also says to read a lot about financial literacy. Not books about money, like not how to make money, but financial literacy itself. The way he puts it is, he puts it like this. So when you read a story, the story has letters and words. Letters and words by themselves don't mean anything unless you put it all together, and that's what gets you the story. So he says that that's the same thing with money, with numbers. Numbers like thousands and thousands of dollars, that's just the words and the letters of the story. Where the money is going, the cash flow, that's actually what the real story is. And he emphasizes that fact and it goes along with spending more than you make, that you're supposed to put more money into your assets, because assets are, this is all new to me too, because I just switched to business. So I don't know if anybody can relate to that. But he talks about you're supposed to put more money in your assets than your liabilities, and that involved. It has a lot to do with financial literacy. And has anybody actually read this book by chance? Anybody read it?
Mm-hmm. I've had people recommend it to me, but I haven't gotten to it.
Yeah, it's actually really, you should read it. It's really, that's one of the first books that I couldn't put down, and I keep reading it all the time. And I was just reading it like a little while ago.
So wait, he's saying that you should invest all you can in your assets and try to stay away from liability as much as possible, right?
Right. He says wealth is made upon assets, not liabilities.
Right.
That's one of the main things he's talking about. And just to wrap it up, I've been about here maybe like 10 minutes or so. Although the book is really, really awesome, I actually have a really, I guess it's clear to me, it's a critique about it. When you read books about like finances and stuff like that, they try to make it seem like everybody's miserable and everybody hates their job and everybody's unhappy with their financial situation and everybody has money problems. And it's like I kind of understand where he's coming from, because a big portion of the United States and the world is in that situation. But it's kind of like overemphasized. Like there are people that are all right. There are people that have enough money that are able to provide for their families, that have good careers and stuff, without all that liability, the debts and stuff. So that's just one of the things that I noticed. I just wrote here, not everyone is miserable, Robert, like as if I'm talking to the author. And so that's one of the things I saw in that book.